Christmas is getting close, so I'm going to try and maybe not just put as many videos as I normally do out. Um, I'm not a big. I don't really celebrate birthdays, Christmases, Easters and stuff. I'm not a big celebratory person because when you've gone through enough shit, it's like, what's to celebrate? But people do celebrate, so good for them. Um, so So everyone who doesn't work at CDPR, I hope they're having a great Christmas time and anyone like that. But I put out an updated version of this. I done this on the stream. As you can see, I finished the head off. All I done was put some eyes in it. The eyes are my movie eyes. Um, it's as the stream was. Other than that, um, so that's available. As you can see, it's remixable. So just look up that, or you can look up me. If I come back out here and we go to this is a collection I've put out. I've got three of my creations are in here. All the rest is other people's. This is more of, because there's a lot of collections out there, but there's no collections that are, these are the great or the good characters, starting points, whatever you want to call them. Not so much a full character, but more of a, you can use this and make your own characters by adding upon it. So I've thought, okay, let's just jump in there, let's grab all the ones I can find that I enjoy, that as you can see, I've made a list. For me, it's got to be remixable. The butt cheeks have to be attached to the hip, not the legs, because that drives me absolutely nutty when they do it incorrect. I do allow, like this one up here, this one here has the butt cheeks on the wrong part. In fact, I'll enter it so you can see it. When he walks, as you can see, he's sculpted the butt cheeks on the actual leg. Your butt cheeks aren't attached to your leg; they're attached to your hip. There's nothing wrong with it, because if you were to do it properly, you'd have to do it a certain way so it's neither attached to the hip or the leg, but its main connection point is to the hip. I don't care what anyone says, anatomically they are attached to the hip. But it's got all these ones here which I have, they're original, they're remixable, they have something unique about them. They haven't just copy and pasted somebody else's creation and all that. Now, the perfect puppet, that is in the eye of the beholder. It's a thing like, for me, the perfect puppet would be closer to stuff I create. But in saying that, I would also like, can't do it, but with bendable body parts and no scenes, all that, yeah. Excluding that, these are the creations that I've gone, these are awesome, these are great, these creators deserve a whole lot of praise, even if they're nothing special. Like, this one here is nothing special. If I go in and view it, it's nothing special. It's a basic shaped puppet and stuff like that, but he's got the proportions right. When it moves right. It's like, he deserves praise for it. So all these puppets in here, they're all, as you can see, all relative. Like, that's the one that most people use. It's got a butt ton of thumbs up, but when I go into it, if I move my control, you can't. I'll bring up the mic so you can hear it, but you can't. When I use the gyroscope, it has no gyroscope option. Oh, it does in the head a little bit, but this is the one everyone uses. But it's standing there. It's pretty good seamless. But if you start to get any sort of in fact, if I come into it, let's do a quick remix just to show you any sort of major movements. So if I grab, for example, the hip, and we go like this, and just say it's doing a weird, let's turn like this. I'm trying to think of a good way to show you. Like, go there, bend that way, and then let's get the hips and bend bend her forward like this. As you can see, you go, oh, that's not too bad. That part on the hip isn't too bad. That's bearable. But then you look up here, so a really big bump there, and even a bigger one there. So it's not ideal. Yeah, it looks great when it's stationary, or if you minimize. That's why he hasn't got any gyroscope. That's why when you move it, it only moves the head, because he doesn't want to emphasize the fact that it's bits and pieces. Whereas you get other creators that will go, okay, let's go with the creases and stuff like that. Another one that's got the same problem as that is, it's in here somewhere. Where is it? Ah, there it is. Is this one here? I think I've showed this one off before. Again, it looks great when it's stationary. The second you start moving it around, you tell me I'm not connected. I'm still streaming. The second you start, he hasn't restricted, so you can actually bend it. You can see the lumps where it joins. Like he's done really well, and especially if you don't excessively move it. This one's problem is he's scaled it up too big. If I come in and go edit, and we'll grab a basic scaled puppet. This is another one of my pet peeves. Basic scale puppet, and I bring it in. It's the size difference. So this one is scaled too big. That's why I have a creation that's up, where I've literally rescaled that puppet. That's all I've done, is rescaled it. It's usable. I'm pretty sure I stayed in the thing. Actually, it might even be in. Go to genealogy and go to remixes. Okay, those two are up. Now, as you can see, that one's base tweaked, and that one's that one there is nothing's changed on it. Yeah, but all I've done with this one here is scaled it. That's all I've done. I've kept it private because I don't want to rain on his parade. Same with that one, it's private. That one there's got the jiggly boobs on it. I did do a couple others, like that one there, but again, that one there has, it's male and female, so it's got a toggle, so you can turn the bits on and off. So it's got dynamic breasts and dynamic male parts, so it's like, that's why that is private. It's, yeah. But they're all scaled down to the correct size and all that. This one here is probably the best creation that's been, and he hasn't done it for a lot. But when you view his things, he hasn't done a great deal of creations. But the puppet itself, proportions, the way it moves, and all that, it's all really well done. Again, you can see the seams, but he's minimized them. And he has done, like what I do, to a certain extent. He's done separate butt cheeks, but it's connected to the hip and to the leg so that it moves in that pattern. Technically, these are connected to the legs, but they're a separate piece. So it's like, I'll allow it. Because everything else is like, if you put a line, this is the pass, it's way above it. So I think you can look past a couple of misalignments and stuff like that when it's that good. Things like this one here, it's got multiple versions. Of course, it's just linked to that's an older one. That's the latest one. So he's obviously updated it. You can go to it, view it. They're not super awesome, but they're like, that is quite a good creation. Does that have? Yes, it does. It does have dynamic breasts. Okay. And this guy here's obviously done a male version. So there's the male version. So if I go to view, there's the male version. He's obviously going for more of a comic book superhero style. And then you got other ones like this one has a male and female. That one has a male and female. This one is another really good creation. I have made a version where I've just got the male and the female, stuck them together and released it, so I can stamp them together, but I thought other people might want the same thing. He's got, like what I like to do, multiple parts. He's got different hairstyles and stuff like that, so when you're editing, so if you're going to edit When you come into here, you can see all these little sliders. So if you want to change the hairstyles, you can change the hairstyles. If you want to change, yeah. So I thought, okay, that's good. That's a really good creation. The stylings, I mean, it's his style. It's unique. It's not a copy and paste. But again, he's also done a male version. So if you'd rather a male, there's the male version. Some people, like this guy here, does have a female version of that puppet, I believe. But it's just like the male one is just that little bit better. And it's actually, this one is actually a really good puppet. Again, when you do the extreme movements, you see the joints. That's why he's no gyro on it. I don't know why I keep labeling that, but whatever. So there's the guy. The original one is that. So when you use the thing, some of them are really hard to find. But if you click on that, that's the original creation. In fact, I should correct that, but you know, I'm not too fussed with it because you can obviously just click on the link. Because as you can see, I haven't thumbed this one up because it's a copy. But I'm not going to spend. Actually, you know what? I should correct it right now, shouldn't I? See, in order for me to correct that, I have to go up to here, go to edit. Then if I go to that one, nope, let's try it again. Go to that. Nope, try it. Oh, it's not going to let me. I have to go to there, and then go Dreamverse. Actually, no, recent. I think it should be in recent. Oh yeah, there it is there. If I click that, I can do that. But then if I want to go to there, I just go there, and then I can go stamp. So now that's the original creation. So I'm going to just go like that. Let's move it in. Let's put that there. And do what I've done with the other one and just shrink that one down. And then I can save version. Public. Just so that if you read the patch notes, that you'll see that. Because people might look at it and go, "Whoa, what did you change?" So if I now back out, now view it. There we go. So there's my one. There's my one without the head and without the toes. If you click on the big one, there's it with the toes and the head. So same with this one. If you click on, jeez, I wish they let us fuck that thing off. There's the original creator. So if you want to view stuff, just when you're on there, just click on his name, and you can view their stuff, and you can click on creations, and see all the stuff that they've created. I've got a tendency to every now and then check in on my followers, the ones I'm following, to see if they've done anything that I might go, oh, I could make stuff like that. Ooh, I could use all his stuff in my I'll show you it in a minute. I know the toilet's not the right kind of toilet and all that, but he's got a lot of furniture stuff that he's been making, so a lot of this, like I could plonk that in the hole. Excuse me, but that's actually not a bad one. Yeah, so like, wait, why am I following him? There we go. So there's that one. There's that one. That's Dolo. He's got a male and a female version. I spoke about him, how his version of this. As you can see, he's relabeled it. Some fuckwit flagged his creation as inappropriate. There was nothing inappropriate about it, but you know, I'll give him a thumbs up. I gave his original creation a thumbs up. I was humming and hawing about giving this a thumbs up, but because here he said like it's not going to get it restored because Media Molecule are dickheads, I'll give this one a thumbs up. So all these creations, actually that one there's I added recently. This one here is, as you can see, it looks very plastic, but he's done well with it. So it's like, yeah, I'll give him to. Like, his joins are very noticeable around the bottom of the rib cage, top of the leg. They're very noticeable. But if I bring it up and play it, nothing majorly off with it. It all looks relatively good. So it's like, yeah, okay, he's done a good job. He gets a thumbs up. Things like this guy here, he's got the male and female together, so just plonk. I didn't even have to do that. He's got them both together. This one does have an issue, and I don't think he's noticed it. Oh no, this is the one that's only those two. Okay. He's got another version that's got 4 of them. It's got the... Oh, these are the 3-finger ones. Yeah, he's mislabeled them. So here, as you can see here, it's 4-finger version. It's not. It's a 3-finger version, and he's got one where he's got the 4 and the 3 together, and he's the one with the 4 fingers. He's labeled as 3 fingers, and yeah, vice versa. But he's done a good. This guy here is quite a good. No, I'm not following. Oh, because I think I'm following this other one. It's that one there, I think. Yeah. Wait, what? So why's they tiny version? Is this the one with the... Yeah, so here we go. 4-finger models, it's got 3. Base model has the 4 fingers. I made a creation of this where see how prominent you can see his joins there? I've attempted to smooth them off. It's not perfect, but I've done an okay job at it. These ones over here, they're not quite abiding by all these things. Like this one here, as I showed you, his butt cheeks are in the wrong spot. But it's still not a bad puppet. So I've given him to keep an eye on it. He could make something good. This guy here, he's made 3 body types and 3 heads. Now, obviously, when you enter it, the heads just fall because you're meant to place the heads on the bodies. But like, they're not great, but it's original. So yeah, so he's got an honourable mention if you want to call him that. That one there is my 3rd character. It's my challenge puppet. No one's taken it up. But yeah, that's that. Then actually, if I go there and public, I can show you the ones I made. There it is there. So this is the one. So if you come around, you can see how that and that joint of it and that joint are a little bit less prominent. Without changing his style, I tried my damnedest to keep his style there and just fix it. Now, obviously, I gave it hair because he's never had any hair. It's basic hair. It's an armor character, so it's got the health at the top, and then you can see 0.0 armor. If I pick up these shorts, I've now got 50% armor. And if I pick the top, 100% armor. So that should reduce it. I should take a reduction of damage, 50%. So if I go like that, it takes 75% off. But if I reset, so it went down to 75%, I come over here and take a hit, it goes to 50%. It doesn't heal you, but it reduces the amount of damage you take. I never used that modifier for armor before, so when I was tweaking it, I was going, oh, I might try it with this character, and it works okay. So, it's publicly available. If I back out, as you can see, it's publicly available, but again, I've given him credit. It's not my character, it's his character. I relabeled it as, yeah, because it was labeled as a 3-finger and it's not, it's a 4-finger, so I corrected it. And, yeah. But then we can go this way. There's my thank you statue. It's just a sculpt. It's not possessable or anything like that. There's climbing. There's my dynamics. There's my menu ones, and this is my newest one. It's a remix of my V's apartment, but I've done some tweaking to it. And if I go into here, as you can see, it's a resculpt of V's room, contains a mirror and basic furniture. This version more modular, so you can move the walls around a little bit easier to make variants of it, or you can flip it around and stuff like that. It's all hashtag don't support criminals, because CDPR are criminals, because they're withholding our product. Watch my CDPR videos if you want to know what it's all about. So if you go to the patch notes, that actually says this was made because so we can make our games because CDPR won't let us, won't give us the game we bought. So that's what this is all about. So if you go into it, it's pretty much exactly the same ish. I've squared off a lot of the holes. There's no bed, so you can place your own bed in there. The window shutters are separate sculpts. I changed the floor piece a little bit, give it a squarer step down. It's got the basic cabinets in there. These doors, they don't open, but they're easy enough to make open because they're separate sculpts. If you come into here, you've got the mirror. It's press square to use. You got in here's where the toilet would be. In here's where the shower would be, but as you can see, all these corners here are all squared off. Oh, buggered that up a bit. I've still kept the top of the roundness there. I've added the glass here. Because in the game there's a bit of glass there. It's a separate piece. It's not a sculpt section, so you can change the color of it, change its opacity of it. Opacity. And when you use the mirror, I've just used the standard meter molecule puppet. But I've wired it in so when you use it, the puppet, you're still possessing it. You can still move it around, but you can see the puppet's head. There's a hole. Yeah, not going to get into it. But if you look that way, you can walk out there, and it will automatically cancel when you leave the area. The light lights up when you're inside the area we can use, and turns off when you can't. All that is, it's a toggle. There's a camera hidden in that square. That square disappears, and you look from that camera. That's all it is. It's not actually mirrored, as you can see, but if you've played Cyberpunk, you can see like bazillion mistakes. And I can put up with, like, if like for example, I just pointed that out, like, it annoys me, but I can put up with, like, that's slightly off, or textures are slightly the wrong color or something like that. But when they're deliberately changing, withholding a certain feature, or deliberately changing something so that's incorrect, that's the shit I cannot stand. And that's why I've retweaked this, took some liberties, so that in the hopes, right, I can fit it around. I've done it with one of my other characters. Place a character in here, make some furniture. There's a hint at White's criminal. Place a bed. You can make your own room. Again, hallways are probably going to come, but I did make a version which isn't released. If I go, did I call it room? No. Can't remember what I called it. Or did I delete? I wouldn't have deleted it, surely. That's interesting. See, there's the one. I used that puppet, placed it in there, fiddling around with it. Okay, so if Actually, if I go... do that, and then go to the... where is it? Okay, because I didn't call it room. It's apartment. So it's... go to there, go to that one, go to its genealogy, go to remixes, or used in. There's the slice. I must have deleted it. Bugger. That one there, I think I've showed it off before. So as you can see, I'm in the puppet. It's all first person. There's no actual hallway. There's the proper BS toggle. Do that. Toggles the BS on. And when you don't have that turned on, come over to the very makeshift mirror. You can go like this. Toggle the boobs. Toggle the man bits. You can toggle the type. It's got all the different versions, like darken the skin. Up for darker. Then when you exit out and you look down, you've actually got your character. That's as far as it's gotten for that. I could have sworn I had one with a hallway, but all I can think is I must have deleted it because it's not showing up in the list. The scaling, they're both about the same. Again, as it says here, ideally you need to shrink the apartment down just a little bit. I've made it slightly larger so that while you're creating it, you're not going to get... because when you're creating and you're moving the camera, you keep bumping into walls and stuff, and it gets annoying. So it's slightly bigger. It's big enough where it's... you can use as is, and it's not noticeable. But I notice it, so if you're one of those kind of people that this feels a little off, you got to shrink it down just a little bit. Notifications. Oh, someone given the room a thing. So if you want to use it, just use it. Again, the big thing is if you use someone's creation, don't try and push it off as your own. So if you use this, by all means, make it your own, everything like that. And if someone says, oh, that room is so accurate or whatever, then you can say, yeah, it was made by this guy. And then I added to it. Or put in the thing, oh, thanks so-and-so for the whatever you used. So it does require a little bit TLC. I'm probably going to continue working on it. Maybe make a toilet, shower head, make insets for the floors, because this floor here is a different material in the game. But if the game's not correct, then how do you know it's correct? I don't know whether I might make this door openable and make a storage room like it does in the game again, but the game's not correct. Not getting into it. Here's where you'd change your outfit. In there's where you'd store all your shit. In here is where that stupid radio that's always turned to on by default is, and you've got to come over and turn it off because they use shit music. There's the bed where you still to this day do not sleep in at the correct... oh, actually no, they did fix it a little bit. When you wake up, you're facing the right direction. The shutters are separate pieces so you can move them. Just add keyframes if you want. Make the doors open and close, make the shutters open and close. It's all easy enough done. I might sculpt some ceiling lights. Sculpt a toilet, a shower head, the computer table. When I say sculpt, I mean like with the trash can here. Very basic. I'm not going to get into any sort of like high definition detailing and stuff like that. Because let's face it, it's never going to get a full release like the actual fraudulent game did, or like Dreams has got a full release. It's literally creation in Dreams, so it's probably going to see like 1 or 2 people use it, and maybe even less play it. So I'm not going to go into it and go, okay, go real fine details, put the rivets in it, put the seams. I'm not going to bother. Maybe just paint. Use the paint tool and paint some LEDs so I can move them around, plonk them down, stuff like that. That sort of thing. Maybe to add some more ambience to the room. And then release it again as a full furnished one. So I don't know, make a bed. I don't know whether this puppet's going to be available stay as, because it's literally like, you can see it's a mannequin. But it's up. If you want to use it, use it. The way it's done, if I go into edit mode, for example, the original one, as you see when I highlight the walls, they're all highlighted. If I zoom in one, all the walls are now separate pieces. So you've got the wall with the cupboard, you get a plain wall there, the wall with 2 windows, the wall with a door and a window. So if you want to make a shop, you could use that door frame and that window, the opening where the bed's going to go, as the shop front. The mirror cabinet is a separate piece, as you can see there. Coming into here, as you can see the glass, so that's all separate pieces. Coming back here, the shutters, separate pieces. So if you want to move stuff around, lower the ceiling, the floor and the ceiling are all together, just to keep you can just go in one, and then you can in one, and you can move them separately. But I've kept them like this so that you're not accidentally moving one when you mean to move them both. Same with why I've grouped all the walls together, so you can move all the walls together. Painting, again, just paint it how you want to paint it. If you want to paint graffiti on the wall, paint graffiti on the wall. It's like, that's out there. I've released it, so it's a free, fair game. And that's how I don't want to get into it, but I've tweaked it so that when that camera is active, you can see the head, because by default you can't see the head, so that the camera doesn't clip into it. See, with Cyberpunk, instead of doing just, oh, let's make the head transparent to the actual player's camera, and then when you walk to a mirror, do an actual reflection, they've gone, okay, let's render a whole new model. That's why, not getting into it, yeah, but the proper way to do it is the head is transparent until you go to that camera. If I get a play mode again and go to in here and go use, and then go to edit, when it's there, the chip that's in here, which is already open, sends out a signal to say, okay, you're using a mirror, heads to be visible, because you no longer view from in there. A lot of game companies will do it. They'll bend the head backwards, shrink it down, or whatever. It depends on how the characters are made, on whether they can just cut what they call cull the head so that the camera doesn't clip it. But I'm pretty sure the culling tool can make it so that when the camera is within a certain distance of the head can be not visible. So when you're in first person, the camera is right on top of the head. Head should be invisible. When you zoom out or go mirror, you can see it because your camera isn't that close anymore. But CDPR being douchebags, criminals, and lazy, that's why we got a fraudulent product. Hence the reason why this is called the fraudulent room. So I'm out here. Stay safe. I'll catch you all next time. And anyone who doesn't work at CDPR, you have a nice Christmas. I'm out here. Catches.